Hi YouTube, my name's Jeff Banks and welcome to The Fashion Banks. Inevitably, if you've actually bought any suit or a pair of trousers anywhere, and you've either been out to lunch once too often or maybe to dinner twice too often, the button's going to come off your trousers, or it may come off the jacket. Not a lot of people know how to sew a button on, would you believe? So that's what I'm going to show you how to do. So the first thing is, be very careful where the button actually came from and remove the spare thread that held the button on in the first place. This is where the button has to go on. Now I'm going to use red thread for the purpose of this so that you can actually see it on camera. So the first thing to do is to actually get the position where you're going to sew the button from where the button was originally. Double the thread, tie a knot in the end of the thread and actually start it without it even seeing the button and get the thread secured onto the trouser. And I normally do that twice and knot it twice before I even start sewing. Now the thing about sewing a button on is that the trouser or the jacket has got a thickness to it. So you need to be careful not to sew the button too tight onto the other part of the trouser, otherwise you won't get it through the buttonhole. So I've made a little device out of a square of cardboard and I've cut a V in it so I can actually put it behind the button, which will allow me to sew the button on and leave enough allowance to form the shank. So I'm passing it through the back of the fabric and I'm holding the piece of cardboard there so that as I then bring the thread back up, I'm holding the button sufficiently far away from the trouser that I know there's going to be enough room for me to create the shank. I'm still holding my cardboard template there so that I'm allowing enough distance for the shank to form. I'm coming back through again, and there I've left enough room where the button is standing off the fabric. So I'm now going to turn over and I'm going to secure the button on the inside with one stitch. I'm then going to pass the needle through the back of the waistband so it comes out to the side of the button, on the side, and I'm then going to wind the thread around the button, and that's called whipping the button. And that forms the shank, which means the button is standing away from the fabric with room enough for it to button onto the trouser. I then pass the needle back into the trouser, through to the back, and then I'm going to finish it off with a double knot. There once, double knotted twice, trim off the thread, and there I have the button secured, whipped with a shank. And that works for either a trouser or on a jacket. And remember, don't forget to subscribe to The Fashion Banks.